Let's try to solve a simple problem concerning DC shunt motor. Sabi po dito, determine the armature current of a 230 volt shunt motor if the counter EMF is 226 volts and the armature circuit resistance is 0.15 ohm. So ang hinahanap po natin dito is the armature current. Before that, drawing po muna natin yung ating circuit. So yung armature and then the brushes. Ito po yung ating RA that is equivalent to 0.15 ohm. And then yung terminal voltage po natin that is equivalent to 230 volts. Nandito yung positive niya and the negative. Ilagay lang po natin yung ating shunt field winding. Although wala pong tinukoy na any value concerning yung ating shunt field. Ngayon dito po meron tayong the counter EMF or the back EMF. Ang value po niyan na sinabi po dito that is 226. Lagay lang po natin doon counter EMF dahil yun po yung binanggit sa kanya. So 226 volts. Next, ang hahanapin daw po natin it's the armature current. So lagyan lang po natin yung ating mga positive and negative dito. So wala din po tayong IL. Dito lang po tayo magbe-base sa mga given natin. So dito tayo maglalagay ng positive, and negative according po dun sa direction ng ating kuryente. Now, to solve this, gawa lang po tayo dito ng loop. Let's say that is loop number 1. So KVL at loop number 1. Unahin po na natin dito yung VT. So that is 230 volts po. Positive 230 volts. Dadaan po tayo dito. That is RA. Multiply that by IA. Minus po yan, negative. So, negative IA times yung RA po natin na ang value po niya is 0.15 ohm. Then, we have negative EC or that is 226. Negative 226 volts is equal to 0. Ngayon, kunin po na muna natin yung value dito. 230 volts minus 226 volts. That will give us 4 volts. So 4 volts. Then minus IA times 0.15 ohm equal to 0. Transpose natin to sa kabila. We're going to have 4 volts equals IA times 0.15 ohms. Divide natin both sides with 0.15 ohms. So, cancel out na po dito. Yung value ng armature current po natin dyan, 4 volts, divide po natin yan ng 0.15 will give us 26.667 amperes. Now, let's go to a similar problem po. Okay, so determine the armature current of a shunt motor when the terminal voltage is 112 volts and the counter EMF is 107 volts. The armature circuit resistance is 0.3 ohm. Again po, drawing lang po natin yung ating circuit that is still shunt motor. Again, with this problem, wala po siyang tinukoy concerning po yung value ng RSH natin dahil with this problem, hindi po natin siya kinakailangan. Ngayon, yung terminal voltage niya, sabi po niya, the VT is equal to 112 volts. So that is the positive and the negative. Yung ating counter EMF is 107. So EC is 107 volts. Then we have the armature circuit resistance, which is 0.3 ohm. Next, ang hinahanap po natin dyan, that is the armature current, that is IA. So, establish din po natin yung mga positive, negative ng ating mga parameters dito according dun sa direction ng ating kuryente. Now, let's establish a loop. So, loop number 1 po. Then, KVL at loop number 1. So, mag-umpisa tayo dito sa terminal voltage ulit, that is positive 112 volts. So, positive 112 volts. Then, punta po tayo dito, negative IA times RA. So, negative IA multiplied that by the value of RA is 0.3 ohm. Then, punta na tayo dito sa counter EMF, that is negative po ang kukunin natin. So, minus 107 volts equal to 0 tayo ngayon. So, 112 volts minus 107 volts, that will give us 5 volts minus IA times 0.3 ohm equal to 0. Transpose ulit natin to sa kabila para maging positive. So, we have 5 volts equals IA times 0.3 ohm. Divide both sides with 0.3 ohm. Then the value for IA, so we have 5, divide this by 0.3, will give us 16.667 amperes.